In the hushed, almost sacred quiet of an abandoned subway station, a young Miles Morales, driven by that potent mix of teenage curiosity and a whisper of rebellion, followed the familiar, reassuring silhouette of his uncle, Aaron. It was meant to be an adventure, a glimpse into a world forbidden, a moment of connection with a relative who understood him perhaps more than anyone else. But as the shadows deepened and a flicker of light caught something alien, something unnatural, the quiet was shattered. Not by an explosion, not by a crash, but by a small, almost imperceptible sting, a bite. A single, life-altering event that, unbeknownst to Miles, had been set in motion by the very hands he trusted. That tiny sting was the catalyst, the spark that ignited a new, unimaginable path for Miles. But the path ahead was not just about new powers. It was inextricably linked to the shadows his uncle cast. Before that night, Miles Morales was a bright, artistic kid, navigating the complexities of a new school, Brooklyn's vibrant energy, and the ever-present desire to simply be normal, to blend in. His uncle, Aaron Davis, was a cool figure in his life, charismatic, insightful, perhaps a little too worldly, but undeniably a source of comfort and adventure, a foil to his parents' more structured approach. Miles looked up to him, confided in him. He saw the good in Aaron, perhaps even more than Aaron saw in himself. What Miles didn't see, or chose not to, was the other side of Aaron Davis, the side known to the criminal underworld as the Prowler. A skilled thief, an agile operative, driven by a thirst for illicit gain, but also, in a twisted way, by a desire to provide, to escape the binds of his past. It was during one of his clandestine operations, a heist targeting the notorious Oscorp, that Aaron unknowingly became the unwitting instrument of fate. Among the stolen goods was a genetically engineered spider, enhanced with the same Oz formula that had created the original Spider-Man. This spider, disturbed during the chaos of the theft, found its way into the backpack of an unsuspecting Miles during their fateful subway exploration, delivering the bite that would change everything. Miles's initial days were a maelstrom of confusion and fear. The strange new abilities, sticking to walls, camouflage, venom blasts, were terrifying, alien. He hadn't asked for them, he certainly didn't want them. The world already had a Spider-Man, a beloved icon, and Miles felt utterly unqualified to stand in his shadow. But then tragedy struck. The original Spider-Man, Peter Parker, fell. His death was not just a public spectacle, it was a profound personal loss for Miles, a hero he barely knew, yet whose sacrifice echoed deeply. It was Peter's legacy, his unwavering commitment, that spurred Miles to try, however awkwardly, to fill the void. He donned a makeshift suit, stumbled through his first heroic acts, driven by a profound sense of responsibility he was only just beginning to understand. As Miles grappled with his new identity, donning the mask of a new Spider-Man, the threads of his past began to tighten, drawing him inexorably towards a truth he desperately wished wasn't real. His path as a nascent hero brought him into conflict with the very criminal underworld he inhabited. The whispers of the Prowler grew louder, the descriptions more chillingly familiar. Imagine the gut punch, the sickening lurch in his stomach when the realization dawned. The cool, comforting presence of Aaron, his beloved uncle, was one and the same with the shadowy, dangerous Prowler. This revelation was a brutal turning point. It shattered Miles's perception of his family, his world. How could the man who encouraged his dreams, who taught him to stand up for himself, be a criminal? The confrontation was inevitable, painful, laden with layers of love, betrayal, and desperation. Aaron, for his part, was caught in an impossible bind. He saw Miles's power, perhaps even coveted it, believing it could be used for their mutual benefit, to protect his nephew, or even to control him. He tried to draw Miles into his world, a world of shadows and blurred lines, seeing his nephew's abilities not as a heroic calling, but a potential asset. But Miles, despite his youth, possessed an unwavering moral compass. He saw the clear distinction between right and wrong, between protecting and exploiting. The debates between them, often masked as Spider-Man versus Prowler, were raw, deeply personal pleas. Miles pleaded for his uncle to change, to abandon his criminal life. Aaron pleaded for Miles to understand his motivations, to see the world as he did, a place where you took what you could. The emotional toll on Miles was immense. The weight of keeping his identity a secret from his parents, the agony of confronting his own family, the fear of what Aaron might do. The climax of their strained relationship was as heartbreaking as inevitable. Cornered, exposed, Aaron made a desperate move, driven by a twisted sense of love and misguided protection. He refused to be arrested by Miles, refusing to let his nephew be seen as cooperating with the authorities. In a final, tragic moment, shot by the villainous Kingpin, Aaron died in Miles's arms. He uttered words of love, of regret, acknowledging the goodness in his nephew. "You're the best of us, Miles," he whispered, a final, profound testament to the son he never had, the hero he unknowingly helped create. The silence that followed was deafening, the weight of a world collapsing around a newly minted hero. Aaron Davis, the Prowler, was gone, and Miles Morales was left with the devastating truth of how closely entwined their lives and deaths truly were. This tragedy profoundly impacted Miles's early days as Spider-Man. It wasn't just the grief, the guilt of a confrontation that ended in loss. It was the realization of the fine line between the paths people choose and how those choices can echo through generations. Aaron's criminal life had directly led to Miles gaining his powers, and ultimately to his own demise. This tragic bond forged Miles into the hero he is today. It instilled in him a deeper understanding of responsibility, not just for his powers, but for the impact of his actions on those he loves. It forced him to confront the complexities of family, the shadows of the past, and the unwavering light of his own moral compass. The Prowler's bite became more than just the sting of a spider. It was the indelible mark left by his uncle, a constant reminder of the consequences of choices and the enduring power of love, even love that is tragically flawed. Miles Morales' journey reminds us that our origins, however complicated or painful, don't define our destiny. They merely provide the canvas upon which we paint our own heroic story. His bond with Aaron, though ending in sorrow, was an essential, albeit dark chapter in his becoming Spider-Man. It shaped his empathy, his resilience, and his unique approach to heroism, driven by a deep desire to protect, to heal, and to ensure that no one else has to bear the kind of burdens he once did. It's a powerful story, isn't it? One that explores the intricate web of family, fate, and the making of a hero. What do you think about the complex relationship between Miles and Aaron? Did Aaron's actions ultimately make Miles a stronger hero? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this story compelling, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more insights into the heroes and villains that shape our favorite narratives. Your support truly helps us explore these fascinating worlds.